Good afternoon. How are we doing? So, can I steal a couple of minutes of your time, please? I've got something I'd like to share with you. If you've got a couple of minutes to spare, I'll be most grateful to you. So those of you that have been following my journey so far, you'll know that I've walked now for just over 4,000 miles into my challenge to walk the coastline of the UK, which is about 6,000 to 7,000 miles. So I'm well into it now. Been going over a year. It's been brutal, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been incredibly fascinating, and it's achieved some of the things that I've wanted it to achieve. I've learned so much about mental health, which was one of my goals. I wanted to stop the world and get off, read books, listen to podcasts, and it's been doing that for me. I'm in a much stronger place now than I ever have been, and I've learned so much about why my mental health went so bad. I also wanted to have a physical challenge, which is done, and it's still doing, and it will do until I get this thing finished. And also I wanted to try and raise £100,000 for the Masonic Charitable Foundation, which is the foundation that has the most incredible mental health support program, which without its help, it saved my life without a question of a doubt. Well, something happened to me just yesterday, and I want to share this little story with you to put this into some kind of perspective. And it's not the first time I've had a conversation and learnt a story like this on my way around. I was coming down a hill yesterday, the other side of Hale. I apologise, it's just got really windy. And I saw a motorhome sitting on the grass field with a couple of flags flying. One of the flags was a Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers flag. I went over, and there was a gentleman sat in under the awning, and I introduced myself, and we had a chat. So Paul, absolutely lovely bloke. He was in the REME, as was my father. My old man did nearly 30 years in the REME. Same trade as Paul, both vehicle mechanics, both got to the dizzy heights of Artificer Sergeant Major, so they both got to the top. Different times, different generations, so I don't think they knew each other. And anyway, they asked me what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and obviously I told them. And Paul's wife, I didn't see her, she was in the motorhome, shouted out that they'd had some bad experience with regards to this, regarding their son. So of course I said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, I hope everything's okay now. To which Paul then told me the story. So their son was in the RAF, doing a job he didn't particularly enjoy doing, so he bought himself out, retrained, and became a plumbing engineer. Set himself up a business, employed 6 or 7 people, and took on a couple of contracts, and big contracts with a big multinational company, who in 2016 went to the wall. So you might remember Carillion, those of you who are in the industry or whatever, they hit the wall and they crashed, and they took a lot of businesses down with them, and Paul's son's business was one of those businesses. Well, being good parents, they put all their money into Paul and his business, and he managed to get himself through it, paid off all his guys, and set himself up again, just him and another guy. A year later, Paul's son's wife went out shopping, and Paul's son took his own life. He hung himself. And as Paul was telling me the story, it was like, how can I explain it? It was like I was standing on that stepladder with Del Boy and Rodney, when they're undoing the chandelier, and it goes, and it just that overwhelming crashing, smashing around me, because in an instant when he was talking to me about it, I went back and I could feel the pain that his son was in. Having starred in that awful film, I just know what that poor man was going through. And the only two things that were different was that I had an opportunity for help. It's the only thing that was different. Two things: I had an opportunity for help, and when that opportunity arose, I asked for it and got the help. 28 years old. This month, my son becomes 29. So he is now 28 years old right now, my son Lewis. And it just got me thinking, what the hell? And I heard the same thing from Paul as I've heard so many times. Nobody had the first idea that this could have or would have happened. Everything seemed to be going just nicely. He was back on with it, and he had that mask on. And that's what we blokes do, right? We've got to stop this. We've got to do something about this. And this is part of, I think, this journey, this experience that I'm on, and how I'm learning. And I want to do so much more to break down this stigma, to get us more open and talking about this. And I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. It's going to take us all to do this, right? This is a societal change that we need to go through, because we can't have this 27, 28-year-old men taking their lives. Anyway, the last point, and we're talking about this, the £100,000 I'm trying to raise for the MCF. So I'm about 45 grand in now, which is marvellous. But I also wanted to tell you that the Masonic Charitable Foundation in 2022, they gave away £1.9 million specifically to mental health charities all over the UK. £260,000 went to Young Minds, £250,000 went to Mind, the national charity, and then a whole host of other smaller grassroots mental health charities in all of our communities all over. £1.5 million separately went into Age UK. They deal with some incredible things like loneliness, which of course has a huge impact on people and their mental health. So the MCF get this, and they are investing masses of energy and money and time into trying to help with this process. Freemasonry, predominantly men, it's not just men, but predominantly men of a certain age, and the statistics say everything in terms of who take their lives here, you know, in this horrible thing that we've got going on. But Freemasonry get it. So I'm on this thing trying to raise the money. I just heard, again, it's happened yesterday, I heard back in Lincolnshire, so forget about that 1.9 million. So Lincolnshire Freemasons, working in partnership with the Masonic Charitable Foundation, have just invested, and just donated rather, £30,000 to the Samaritans in Lincolnshire. So we have 5 call centres in Lincolnshire that the Samaritans man, and the way the telephone systems all work, it's all going digital next year. All of the kit that they use will become out of date. So with a £30,000 investment, they can upgrade all of their telephone systems in their call centres. And I think last year they took over 37,000 calls, people calling asking for help. However many of those we don't know, obviously, that have saved lives, but an incredibly important asset and resource that we have in our local community. And I'm just talking about in Lincolnshire specifically for that one, but they're all over. And the Masonic Charitable Foundation, like I said to you a minute ago, they're getting it, and they're investing and putting this money in. So we've got something to do, me and you. I'm going to do the easy bit, and we have a partnership here. You can do the hard bit, right? I've just got another 2,000 miles to walk. All right, so I'll do the easy bit. You've got the hard bit. Just on the bottom here, do us a favour, push that link, leave a little message, and if you can, just leave a little donation. Every single pound that we can put into this pot is going to be going to help somebody like Paul's son, potentially somebody like me, at the end of the line, thinking that the only way out is to do that. And it doesn't have to happen, guys. We can talk about this, we can open this up, all right? Together, we can speak, we can talk about it and speak about it. Right, listen, I'm out of St Ives. I'm heading south towards Land's End, because as soon as I get around that corner, it's going to feel like another huge milestone, because then I'm heading east. Before I then turn another corner and start heading north, and I'll be home. Right, listen, take good care of yourselves, and thank you for your time, and we'll catch up very soon. Hit that link. Big love. Ta for now.